every day. Yo, welcome back to another episode, man. It feels good. We already cracking up. But today we're gonna be discussing Chicago's new mayor, BK.
Yes,
Wait a
we
minute,
are.
wait a minute. I'm your host, Big Bro.
Uh, I'm your girl BK, aka Butterscotch Kisses. How you doing?
And this is chopping it up Chicago. And Chicago got a brand new mayor, BK.
Yes, yes, and it has kind of seems like it's leaving the city divided because you have some people who totally support him and you have some people who truly cannot stand him. And I'm like, it's not that serious, y'all, but okay.
We're gonna talk about that, and then we got BK's business beat.
Mhm.
You're gonna hit him with some knowledge, and then we also got what's going on in Chicago this month, because y'all know we only do this like once a month now.
Mhm.
And Walmart saying peace out to like 4 locations out south. They getting up out of there. We're gonna talk about all of that and more right after this. What's good, Chicago? What's
Hey.
happening? Spring
Welcome
is in
back,
the air.
family.
Welcome back, degrees. It's 73 degrees
You
outside.
better say that again. But this is the thing, right? Because Chicago just lies to you. They make it sound like it's going to be great. It's supposed to be in the 80s all week long, or like get up to the 80s. But then, I mean, will it snow? Will there be a typhoon? We don't know. Chicago's trying to figure herself out. So, when we have a 2-week stint of consistent weather, then I'll be like, we are now in a new season. Yes.
Mostly, we still gonna
Yeah.
be a little tentative. Like we still got PTSD, but it actually
Listen,
was a pretty mild winter. Like we didn't get that much snow. It wasn't like bitterly cold all the time. It feel like the 1990s was the coldest decade in the history of Chicago. We had to
I
walk to
felt
school in it.
yeah, I felt like we actually got a fall this last year and we actually got a bit of a winter. It rained more than it snowed, but we still got that precipitation. No droughts over here, working it
So,
out.
so before we jump into all the mayor madness, what you been up to, BK? What's been good? What's been going on?
Well, what has been going on? I've been tired. That's what's been happening. I have been tired, but it's
I'm
been
tired.
Effie, I'm tired. Yes. Basically just a whole bunch of business stuff. So as you know, both Big Bro and I have like two separate podcasts and we do this one together. So it's been a lot of doing stuff for my business, Lily Rose DMA. For you guys who don't know, I am a marketing consultant and strategist. So if you need some help, like go to my website, lilyrosedma.com, shameless plug. Ha.
I
But
ain't none of those
also,
things, but we can play Call of Duty together if anybody want to holler at me on PlayStation. You did.
right. So it's been a lot of, advertising for myself, networking with other people. I've had guests come in and out, staying in and out of my house. So I'm a little tired. I'm a little
And we
tired.
just had Easter. Easter was great and
Yeah,
delicious.
it
All the
was. It
different
was.
delicious
You
greatness.
cooked some really good food. Like that
Yeah, I mean,
that
I
pork
didn't get
roast
to
was
cook
delicious.
I didn't get a chance to cook like as much as I normally do because I had to work. But Easter was fun. Me, I just been daddy dutying. It was spring break for my two oldest, and this summer was this spring was the first spring that my oldest daughter was like, "Nah, fam, I'm chilling. I ain't spending spring break with you, guy. I'm trying to hang out with my friends, go see movies, and go to the mall and such." So it's cool though. I expected it, so I wasn't as hurt as I thought I would be a few years ago when these moments came. But your kids grow up, and you gotta let them go. You did.
Mhm. When she didn't come this, spring break, I was like, "Oh, Kevin's poor heart." He's probably like, "My baby, my baby."
Well, it wasn't that difficult because I just saw her a couple of weeks ago when
Mhm.
I went down for her birthday to go check out this K-pop group called Stray Kids, and it's crazy. Like I never heard of them outside of my daughter talking to me about them, but they sold out 2 shows in Atlanta. Like K-pop is a phenomenon, man. Like these guys know how to get the attention of young girls and older girls too, because it was all a mixed bag of all
Oh,
races
yes. Listen,
that
listen,
in the crowd.
Koreans know how to do the thing, baby. Let me tell you. Like my ex was Korean and I was a happy person. I was. So
Well, I've never dealt with a Korean, romantically, but I do love some Korean food, you dig? But, hey,
Mhm.
BK, Chicago has a brand new mayor. Bah, 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 bah.
Oh, wow. Yes, yes. Brandon Johnson. What? Okay.
So
So,
Brandon Johnson is the new mayor of Chicago, ladies and gentlemen, getting rid of old Beetlejuice herself,
dang,
Lori
why she gotta be
Lightfoot.
Beetlejuice?
And
Old
and
auntie.
before we get into all the accolades and misgivings and questionables about this man, we can give our farewell to old little bitty Muggsy Bogues looking Lori Lightfoot. She looked like
Bye, auntie.
One of the Monstars
Stop
from the
it.
Michael Jordan movie, or something from A
Uh-uh.
Bug's Life. But hey, it's all good. She accomplished great things.
Uh-uh.
She accomplished great things. I just didn't like the way she did Chicago during all the riots and such by just protecting the North Side. But I get it. I get it. You got to protect your assets. Can't have people running crazy around Trump Towers and so on and so forth. So shout out to Lori Lightfoot for being Chicago's first female mayor and first black female mayor, of course, and the first uh, LGBTQ
IA.
mayor
Yes, yes.
as well. And so, shout out to her for that. But she up out of there. And now we moving on to Brandon Johnson.
Brum, brum, brum. What's interesting is she didn't even place. Like people were like, "Nah, we good. We don't really like you. We're good." But Brandon is interesting, right? So he and his competitor basically it was almost half and half. He only won by like 51, like I think it was 51.4%. And so it really came down to it seems like, police and crime in Chicago. So his, opponent was very big on we need even tougher gun laws and we need even more police protection than former Mayor Lightfoot had. And Brandon's like, no, like what we need to do is get down to what the true issue of what creates crime in the first place is poverty and messed up neighborhoods and situations. So he is, very big when it comes to, like schools and like reform. And he really talked about like he was a part of like defunding the police and, he, protests and all that stuff. So that's already going to be polarizing for like some people,
Right. So
right?
I don't defunding the police just doesn't seem like a good idea. I say refunding the police, like reallocating how you fund the police would be better. Like there's no need for, I mean, in some places there are need for certain types of artillery and things like that.
Mm,
But at the end of the day, like in America alone, they spend a lot of money on police and military type action, period. Trillions of dollars. So if you're looking at a city budget, you're talking about millions of dollars that could go toward education or community activism, community
mm.
centers, helping the homeless, feeding the homeless, things like that, as opposed to all the different things that go in the political sector. But go on, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I agree with you. I feel like defund the police, I definitely understand it. And honestly, in some places, yes, I think that needs to happen because they need everybody who's there to be fired and they need to bring in more people. But when it comes to the police, first of all, they need more training. They need ongoing training. They need to be able to be demoted. You have to, I think they should have mandatory time where they have to see a counselor, where they have to do things because the truth is,
Where they have to
you,
go to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings.
yeah. I mean,
There
the
was
truth is,
a picture today of the police officer who's caught up in a shooting of a young man in Chicago recently, and they show a picture of him in full uniform, completely passed out in a drunken stupor, in
uh,
full uniform.
yeah.
And it was released by the independent investigation, so on and so forth. But you just know in Chicago, man, these guys are a lot, not a lot, but there are police officers who are alcoholics, drug addicts, abusive, so on and so forth. And and
And
they
they
do these
protect
things
each other.
exactly, and then they investigate each other. Like there's no outside investigation, and they be like, "Our
And
bad, he's suspended without pay for a few weeks, whatever."
right, but then they just go do a GoFundMe and they get paid anyway, and that's where some of the other dollars are coming from. So that
So
that
can
makes
Brand, so,
sense.
So can he really make a difference in Chicago? Because it's a lot of mayors that come through these doors and they say what they're gonna do. Can he really make a true difference based off what he was talking about?
I mean, we don't know yet. That's the thing. Like, what I thought was interesting about this election is his opponent basically was backed by the police department, and Brandon was backed by the teachers union. And so because, he's a former educator himself, he has seen a lot. He's seen kids come in from bad neighborhoods, and he's seen their home life situation. And he's realizing what is leading a lot of people to crime. So in his mind, he's like, we got to fix the home, we got to fix the neighborhoods, and that will naturally bring down crime, which is true, right? That also takes time. I feel like I'm reserving judgment on if he's gonna actually make a difference or if he's not until he's been in office for at least a year, you know?
Okay,
And then I can say,
and
because
even longer, and
politicians,
even longer than that.
yeah, I mean, politicians say a lot of stuff, and you have to take everything with a grain of salt because they might have good intentions, but it depends on who's behind them, who's funding them, what they're up against. I think that a lot of us want change yesterday, and if you don't feel like change is coming fast enough, then you're ready to make somebody, like, no, they didn't do it either, and you don't even know like the extra stuff that's going on. So
So you say
I'm
a
cool.
lot of us want change, but only like less than 1 million people voted in this mayoral election, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Um,
like 500 and some thousand, and
why
we
aren't
have
Chicagoans voting, BK? What's going on?
I think everyone's jaded. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I
mean,
think
honestly, I haven't voted like in seriously, like seriously voted, like I'm really into it since like the first Obama election.
mm,
And then after that, I was just like, man, you start to see what the presidency really means. I was a little older at that point, and now I'm way older now, and I see how politics work and what it really stands for. Like, I mean, I know people fought for our rights to vote, and I'm not disrespecting that, so I do vote. Um, I just don't seriously vote, if that makes sense, right? Like, there are times where I go vote, like, okay, let me go vote in this situation for this judge or this local situation, but it's hard to take it really seriously. So I wonder if that's what a lot of Chicagoans are feeling right now. If you're talking about one of the biggest cities by populace in the United States of America, and about a 500,000 people voting for the mayor is crazy.
yeah, so we're the third largest city in America, and we have about 3 million people. And so we don't know. I mean, I don't know the figures of those 3 million people who are of voting age, but it definitely should be at least a million, you know?
Well, here's something that I'm thinking about though, because this was like more like a runoff, correct? Like they already voted for the mayor, and then these two ended up so close in the initial vote that they had to do another vote. So maybe those other people who were voting for other people were like, "Well, I'm not voting for these people. I ain't even vote for them the first time."
Yeah, but I think the issue really is the fact that it comes down to that argument of voting for the lesser of two evils or not voting at all. And so you have a lot of people who feel like, I don't have anybody who's representing me, so I'm not going to vote. But the thing is, it's like, but you definitely don't want this person in office. And this
Right.
person is like, it's just as bad. But, it's like, this person will set your house and your car on fire. This person will just set your car on fire. So, at least I have a home to go home to. So it's just trying to figure that out. I think what we have learned in the past, honestly, 8 years especially, is that really most of the decisions are made not when you already are looking for someone at the president level, but lower down. So I'm seeing a lot of people starting to actually run for offices, whether it's alderman, whether it's for Senate, different things like that. And so we're starting to see the change, like they're realizing they have to be in there. And then
Right.
you're having a lot of people who, like people, they're tired, they've seen too much, and they're just like, nah, I'm not in it. I don't even care anymore. Like what I want is just to make this money, come home, watch Netflix, and leave me alone. Like I'm at
Bro.
that point in my life.
Bro.
So I think people are jaded, honestly.
True, true. And you know what's also jading?
What?
Taking all of the stores out the hood, man. You got a situation over in Inglewood where they just closed the Whole Foods, and now we got the Targets that left the areas in Chicago
Mhm.
last year, and now we got four more WalMarts closing. According to CBS News, they're closing the Chatham one on 84th and Stewart, the dreaded 83rd Walmart. Like I said, you got to go there. It's like, man, then you had the Kenwood one on 47th and Cottage over by our church that we grew up going to.
Mhm.
And then a couple on one on the north side, the Lakeview Neighborhood Market on North Broadway. And then the little village one is leaving as well. And they're going to be gone by Sunday, BK.
Right. I'm confused by that because it's like they're all over the city. So you have some bad neighborhoods and some good neighborhoods. And so like at first when I was looking at this, I was like, "Oh, is it just, the quote unquote bad neighborhoods that they're saying don't
Right,
be in?" But no, it's
right,
everywhere because that's what Target did. I'm like, people go here. People are
right.
constantly buying stuff here. What is the issue? So,
And even out
um,
in the south suburbs, they closed some recently, and it was like they said it's because they're losing money in the neighborhood. People were like, "How? Like there are people in here all day." So obviously, theft, loss prevention, and things of that nature really hurts the because of the Walmart business model of having like a skeleton crew pretty much operate this major business at all times, as opposed to having like people in the store to help customers and check them out instead of doing self checkout because it's easier to steal when nobody's there, you know?
yeah, and I think, I mean, so I look, I'm a business owner, right? But I really don't have sympathy for Walmart. Like, I feel like
Absolutely
I
not.
should. And
No,
that's mainly because they don't pay people anything. Like,
they
you
don't.
have people working all hours of the day. You don't have enough help. And then if they're open 24 hours a day and you have these super centers, and I'm supposed to be in charge of all of these people. I'm supposed to try to deal with the public all of like this. And I have to fight for minimum wage. I have to fight to actually get something. Like, nah, nah. And
Well,
the other thing is the CEO talked about how he would be willing to close all his stores because I believe last year they lost $3 billion
hmm
in profits, but they made like 250 something billion.
right.
And so I'm like, okay, I get it. Billions are billions, like you want your money. But at the same time, I'm like,
That's just a loss that you should be operating at just based on like, the existence of being a major multinational corporation.
well, yeah. And not only that, but I mean, to me, it just shows that where the economy is, right? People are stealing food. It's
hmm
food that they're mainly, like, losing things on. It's not electronics, it's not clothes, like, what people are desperate for, they're desperate for formula, they're desperate for diapers, they're desperate for food. So, if
Like
we're in a
necessities and
place in
such.
our like, necessities, like, if we're in a place in our country where people are straight up stealing food, then there's a larger thing going on over here, and Walmart's one of the cheapest places that you could go to, right? Like, that's where people go to shop
But
on a budget.
their egg prices went up just like everybody's, just like all
Yeah,
the
sure.
now one of the good things that can come from this is hopefully is that you know Walmart was the death of the neighborhood market and the
That's true.
small businesses. So hopefully these areas can now pivot and you can get more, locally owned markets and stores and hardware stores and things like that. And even check cashing places and such like banks and stuff because people go to Walmart for that. They got banks and beauty supply stores and everything in Walmart
Mhm.
now and Subway. So maybe these communities can benefit by building up, themselves and building up their local businesses to the point where they can start to take over that market that's opening it up. Because if they're losing money, they're still leaving a vacuum that needs to be filled. There's a void that needs to be filled, and people can go get a piece of that pie.
You know what this reminds me of? You said, hopefully, like, local businesses will spring up. Um, this is it just pricked in my mind. They're showing that a large amount of millennials have left their corporate jobs to go buy a plot of land to just be farmers because they're like, I'm good.
Mhm.
I want to be in local markets. I want to feel like I'm actually doing something. So I do agree with you. I feel like when they leave, you're going to have more room for local businesses and more people to actually like get the food, get the supplies and stuff that they need and shop local. So hopefully that will be a part of it. But the fact that I mean, what are they gonna do with this space? Because 'Cause they're huge.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
that's a
again,
lot of real estate, like, who did they sell that to, or who are they gonna rent that to?
yeah, and some of them are bigger than others. But you mentioned farming and farms, it made me think about something that you were talking about. Your neighbor, you have a rooster for a neighbor, BK.
Okay, so first of
I
all,
imagine that the rooster looks
you know
like
what?
this.
Shut up. First of all, what
This
you not gonna do? I was okay, listen here, chopping it up, family. I told him something in a family chat, and he is putting my business out here. Rude. But yes, since you brought it up, so my neighbor has a rooster, and not even my next door neighbor, like 2 or 3 houses down from me. And this rooster is roostering, okay? Cockle-doodle doing multiple times a day just to let the world know that it's here. I don't know. I'm guessing that they probably got some chickens because that's the only reason why I could see you having a rooster. So maybe, they're trying to save money too. But, um, I tell you one thing, when you're trying to sleep in on a Saturday after you have gotten no sleep and all your windows are closed and your alarm is off and you just hear a rooster screeching at the top of their lungs, you have never wanted an animal to attack another animal more in your life. I was like, "Where are the stray cats? Where are the stray cats? Like, go kill this thing." I was like, "That's rude. That's so
they
rude, Leslie.
they
I
can't
don't."
kill him because when they run up on him, he look at them like this, and they get scared. they they ain't got no time to be trifling with homie
I
right there.
mean, why does that rooster look like Don King? Like with
Look
that
at
hair.
him.
It's just look at it. Don King or Al Sharpton. I'm just saying. Okay, we see you. We see you.
Jeez. So
Yes.
BK,
So
what's going on
here's
in Chicago? What's going on in Chicago?
we have a few things that are happening in Chicago. So, as you know, Chicago, once the weather gets warm in Chicago, great things are starting to happen. And I am not mad at those great things. One of the biggest things is we have Expo Chicago, which is from April 13th until the 16th. It's down at Navy Pier. It is one of the largest art expos that Chicago runs in the city. So, you have a lot of art galleries, a lot of vendors from all over the world, not just the United States, but all over the world. They bring some of their artists' best work there. And you get to walk around and you just get to, be bougie, enjoy your life. The last year I went with my husband, they had, as a part of your ticket, you got free wine vouchers. And you had like little hors d'oeuvres that you could eat, and you were just walking around and you were seeing like really nice things, as well as it's Navy Pier, and Navy Pier has a few different exhibitions, like outside as well as inside, that they change throughout the year. So it's always fun because if you're from Chicago, most people have been to Navy Pier, but they haven't been in years. So then when you go back, you're like, oh yeah, this is nice. So
Hmm.
going there, if you want to see art, if you want to see like multidisciplinary art, if you want to have like a nice date day, or if you just want to go and explore more things in this genre, definitely go and enjoy yourself. It's very beautiful. Like when I went last year, it's huge. It felt like it was a like the size of like a football field. So you have all these different compartments, and I'm gonna be honest, I was like, okay, I need to stay next to my man, don't get snatched, because it is so it's so
They,
big.
hey, they don't want that smoke. Ain't nobody
Listen,
snatching you.
listen, but I mean, like, look, you gotta always be looking. You never know. People crazy
Yes, ma'am.
nowadays. But that's one of the things that is out, that you can do in the month of April. Something else that you can do, and this is until the end of May, they have been doing a lot of the immersive experiences. So that's going to be in Chicago's Old Town neighborhood. It is currently going on and it will be done May 29th. 2023. So basically, you're going to see a lot of art that is on these walls, and then you're just going to hear some of Mozart's famous music. It's really relaxing. It's really chill. They have like packages that you can upgrade to. Like you can have like a couples package where they have like a balcony that you can sit and you can watch everybody. They do sometimes they do like flowers and champagne and stuff like that. I'm gonna be honest, when we went there for another exhibit, it's not the balcony isn't worth it because the venue is not so big where you feel like, "Oh, I'm so special." Like, just walk around downstairs, you'll be fine. But it is a really fun, like, chill day, and there are a couple of, really nice restaurants, as well over there. So I would say go in the afternoon, spend a couple hours there. There is definitely, a gift shop. There is a place that you can get some food inside, like just some snacks like ice cream, coffee, tea, stuff like that. And then you can just go walk around a Chicago neighborhood. As we said, Chicago weather is trying to get itself together. So, if you take a weekend and you just allow yourself to remember why you love the city, because winter makes you forget. But if you come back, you'll be able to understand that. And one of the other things that you guys can do is dinner with a view. So, what's fun about this is these bubbles popped up usually when it starts to get cold, people still want to go outside and they still want to, like have some sort of sensory experience. And it's a way for Chicago to still make money off of you, basically. So, they have them up. So right now, like when it is dark outside, they have like lights around. It is, temperature controlled. So if it's cold outside, it'll be heated. If it's hot outside, it will be cool. And those are all along the Magnificent Mile in Chicago. And that is until May 14th of this year. Now, there are like 50 billion things to do all the time. One more that I forgot to get the picture for. There is right in our city, right off of Wacker, there is a church called the 17th Church of Christ. But what they do is
I mean,
every
that's
Wednesday,
very specific.
it
I'm
is.
just
It's
saying.
very specific. I was like, okay, it's huge. Because at first I was like, is this a Scientology building? But what they do is every Wednesday, at noon, they have free classical concerts. And so you just get to go in like on your lunch break. It's from noon until 1, and you get to hear a couple people play a classical piece. And on Tuesdays, I believe they're starting to do this next month, is they have after work concerts as well, so that if you don't feel like trying to be in traffic, it's too many people, you're like, I don't want to do that. They also have something from 5 p.m. till 6 p.m. as well, so that you can come straight from work and you can just sit in a concert, get some good music, and then allow yourself to go on that commute as well. So, those are a lot of fun things that you can do, like either by yourself or you can do, go on a date with somebody and do, but it's a lot of fun. So, Chicago's opening up, and what I mean by that, not because of COVID, but like it's opening up for, weather wise, we're actually allowed to be outside and we won't die yet. So we're good. So yeah.
All right, well, BK, we're gonna take a small bathroom break. Gotta check on the kid because his mom's out hanging out with the girls. So we're gonna get back to you guys in a little. All right, we are back. The baby is still alive. He's not really just a baby. He's a very smart and capable young man now. He just
Of
turned 5.
destruction.
He just turned 5, BK. That's crazy. Time is flying. It's definitely
Mhm.
flying. All right,
I
so
know.
you know what else is going on in Chicago?
Now, talk about it. What else is going on in Chicago?
Baseball. Let's go. It's baseball season, man. The basketball season is almost over. The
Mhm.
Chicago Bulls are in the play-in tournament. We're gonna talk about that later. But it's baseball season in Chicago. We are fortunate enough to have two teams, and I'm one of those weirdos that root for both teams. I'm a White Sox fan first, but I root for the Cubs when they're not playing against the White Sox. Currently, the Cubs and the White Sox have started off better than people could have anticipated. The Cubs are actually above 500. The young squad is doing their thing. A couple of the acquisitions they got in the off seasons helping out. And the White Sox started off decent too. Like they had a couple of struggles where they gave up a lot of hits and a lot of runs. But baseball is all about wins and losses. So they're both looking pretty good. Baseball season is back. You know I'm excited. There's nothing like going to the stadium, eating a hot dog, having a beer, sitting down, not paying attention to the game at all. And I know how you feel about baseball.
My face
Look at
tells you how I feel about
Look at your face
baseball.
like,
Like,
"This nigga
I
tired. I
just
wish he'd shut up. I wish he would just stop."
I don't understand why I have to be intoxicated in order to like a game. Like, it should just be interesting. But, that's me telling the
Well,
truth.
baseball is a little bit more interesting now, and I'm not sure if this would change things for you, but it's not as long. They've saved about 45 minutes off per game, just around that, because
Okay.
they added a pitch clock. And that pitch clock forces you to have to pitch the ball instead of just standing around kicking the dirt, playing these mental games. So it's a
Mm,
lot faster, and they've changed a little bit of how like players can stand in the outfield. So scoring is up, hitting is up, and all that
okay.
stuff. It's a little bit more exciting, especially when you hear the crowd counting down for the pitcher to throw the pitch, and it's a lot of pressure as well involved. So
Okay.
baseball is a little bit more interesting, but I get where you coming from. And then over to the
I might watch it. I might watch it then because I'm like, y'all, we've been here a while and I'm not there. I'm
the
not
games are
there.
so fast that normally they stop selling alcohol after the seventh inning. Now
Mm,
they've decided to do it after the eighth inning because it's like, look, man, like y'all taking money out of our pockets now on the concessions because the game's getting over too quick. People can't even buy their drinks fast enough.
mm.
So over in the NBA, the Chicago Bulls have had like a terrible season, up and down, and all season. It was just, man, you know me. I do the sports thing with my guys over on the Shot Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys, and we've watched every game, and it's just they've been so inconsistent, and they have an opportunity to still make the playoffs, which just means that there is a god or at least a basketball god, and these guys have an opportunity to make the playoff, but they got to win 2 games to do it. The NBA
Mhm,
did something amazing by creating a play-in tournament because it made the end of the season way more interesting than it had been. Where you got the teams
mm.
that usually would be just getting ready for a high draft pick, having a fight and get an opportunity to make it to the playoffs. It's been pretty cool. So there you have it. That's what's going on with the Chicago sports. Just the White Sox and Cubs, they doing their thing, and then the Bulls have an opportunity to go to the playoffs. We're gonna see if they can do it.
Have you been trying to play basketball?
I still do it. You see this crick in my neck, man. Matter of fact, go ahead
I've
and recommend and
right, like,
get
so
a good masseuse for your boy, a chiropractor or something.
you better go on Groupon. You better find somebody
Ugh.
in your neighborhood. Nah, no,
Bro.
I get that. I would say I recommend Groupon because you do find some gems out there. And what I like about them is the fact that if I forget that I had something and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be able to use this, you can like trade it in and get something else as long as
Yeah.
it's within that allotted time.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
dope.
have something right now that I need to do. I need to take my yoga classes, talking about this out loud. Yeah, yeah. But
Amen. Put the on wax.
yeah, get your wife to give you a massage.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the. But she out right now. But when she get back, I'll see if I can get her up in there and get those arms and fingers and nails up in there. Oh,
Yeah,
let's see. All
you could
right,
definitely do that.
all right. So we're gonna be wrapping it up real soon. BK, have you
Yeah.
seen any good movies lately?
Oh, movies. Uh, I've been watching a lot of TV. So I have been finishing up like some anime and I
Oh,
also
what anime you watching?
I was watching wow, mine went blank. Dang. Okay. Blue Lock. Blue Lock, which is like a soccer anime. I really
Okay.
like sports anime. Like I that is where I really get into sports. Like that's my thing. I'm like, that's right. And
If only you can hear what every basketball player was thinking.
and how they pose. It's just like, "Roar!" I'm like, "Oh, wow, you're a beast." Okay, that's really cool. But also, I watched that 1 hour thing of Attack on Titan with my husband. He still is upset because, hi, baby. That's my nephew. Yeah, I love
You say
him.
hi.
Hi. Hi.
You telling
So
me to
been
wrap it up.
watching yeah. Okay, we've been watching that and My Hero Academia, which has just gotten mwah, chef's
Oh, I
kiss.
got
It's
okay. I
so
got to get
good.
back into it. It's been too long. Then it's been
Yeah.
too
But
long for me.
I started Beef with Ali
There you go.
Wong.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I
yeah.
started that and it is hilarious and
I
just
got to check that
how
one out.
ridiculous it is. I'm like, "Wow, you guys need anger management." But, that's what I've been looking at, and we're supposed to go see the new John Wick movie soon, so
That I am looking forward to that. Me and the kids went to go see the Mario Brothers movie, and it was actually really, really good.
yeah.
Yeah, it came out in the in the in the April 5 of April.
Yeah, April 5th.
It
It
came
was
out on your birthday. Oh, he
it
can't
came out on your
win.
birthday. But it was really good. Like they captured the essence of Mario, like
They
all the running and the jumping. They even have Mario Kart.
Mm,
I even thought the voice
and
acting was really
also
good.
and also and also there you can play Super Mario on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, you can also play it on Nintendo
yes.
Switch. Little Kev has his words to say. But yeah, so Mario was dope, man. I enjoyed every minute of it. My wife was like, "You're enjoying this more than the kids." I'm like, "Yeah, because I played this. Like I've been playing Mario for decades, and all of the way that they captured the essence of the
Mm.
Mario Brothers, it was really, really dope, and it makes
And
you
they
think.
captured Bowser.
They also did. They captured Bowser. So,
Bowser was evil.
yeah, he was the bad guy. He was the nemesis. So yeah, that's what we was watching. And then what I'm listening to, BK, is Daniel Caesar's album. It is
Daniel Caesar.
actually it's fire. Like it
Mm.
is fire. It's called Never Enough. It just dropped
Bowser.
and it
Bowser.
just dropped. My son still wants to talk about Bowser. Well, I'm almost done. We can talk about it in a second. The songs you should check out though are Valentina, Toronto 2014, and Do You Like Me? The whole album is hot though. Just check
Mm.
out the whole album. You guys remember Daniel Caesar from Who Could Have Thought I'd Get You? And what's the song he did with her?
Look, my
That's
mind
the
stopped working.
then you don't know me.
Mm, you
And
don't
then
know, babe.
yeah.
Yeah.
You must have it in the
Morning.
morning. There you go. Oh yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. If life was a movie, did all the best part.
Mm, we
Oh,
both went on cue on
anyhow,
that one. That wasn't cute. That wasn't cute.
Bowser was
it's all good. But you always gotta sing that song. It feels better when you're drunk in the karaoke room, but it's all good.
Uh-uh. Stop.
But anyhow, it's a dope album, man. He is doing his thing. He kind of fell out of favor with people with cancel culture for a few things that he said on social media a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
But check this album out. It's hot, BK. It's hot.
Yeah, you were playing it earlier before we started, and I was like, "I forgot about him." Yes, I will go check him out. Um, he's one of those people that creep up on me where it's just like I know he's good, and then but if he's not like on my playlist because he's so chill that sometimes I'm like, yo, I need something right here because where I am right now, I'm gonna fall asleep if I listen to you. And not because you're bad, but because like I'm so relaxed that
Right.
I'm like, yeah, yeah. So that makes perfect sense. I understand that 100%. You know, you know what else I understand really, really well that you guys might want to understand a little bit more of?
What's that?
Mhm. I understand business, business.
Let's go.
All right. So
I understand parenthood, so pardon me,
I
guys.
see you over here like, okay, I said, give me a second. Listen, I mean, my nephew, I love him, but natural birth control, just like, hey, look at that. I love you. I'm so happy.
Hey,
Right.
it's
Hey.
working on me too.
Mm.
I got it.
All right. So for BK's business beat, as I said earlier, I own a business called Lily Rose Digital Marketing Agency. I am a marketing consultant and strategist based in Chicago. And so, what I do a lot of is I help people just come up with strategy for themselves and their business. And what I've been talking about a lot lately is social media and how you can allow your business to grow online as well as offline. There are people that are extroverted and they're really good at like forward facing things. They love to be on video, they love to talk, they love to chat. But what about other people? What about people who, one, like they don't really want to always have their makeup done or their hair done? They don't really want the camera on them. There are other ways for you to make your business grow without actually having to be in front of the camera. And here are a couple things that you can do. One, you can definitely do networking, which I always talk about. Businesses grow by people and by other businesses. It's really important for you to continue to put yourself out there. Chicago has so many free networking events that it's crazy. Like, if you just do a Google search of free networking event in Chicago, you will be able to go out there, you'll be able to meet more people. And it's important because most business comes from referrals and it comes from people helping people, not just what you're putting out online. So, starting to build up a community of other entrepreneurs and other business owners is really going to help you grow and shine. Another thing that you can do is you can start and create an email list. Why is this important? Because you could be shadow banned from TikTok. You could be canceled and you could have things flooded. You could be doxxed. There's so many things that can happen to you as a business owner that it is important for you to always have multiple touch points and multiple ways for people to actually know how to find you. So have a website, have your own email list. And when you are having an email list, you are asking for people's email addresses in exchange for you giving them updates on your business, for you giving them maybe a coupon for your product or service, for you to show them like all the new goodies before anybody else. It's really important to build that up. And it's also important because people want to be marketed to, right? So when you're scrolling on social media compared to an email list, like people are like, okay, I don't need to look at this. But if the email list, they know they're going to be marketed to. So build up your email list, start networking, and if you want to be in front of a camera, start going on people's podcasts. That way, you don't even have to create the content. Someone else is creating it for you, and they're tagging you in it, and you are also now getting more of a reach because you have your audience and you have their audience. All right. That's the end of my tirade. There we go.
All
I
right,
don't think
cool, cool. I'm right now. I had to mute it, man. You know what I'm saying? These babies don't. They be like, "Hey, I'm about to throw
they're like,
toys
okay, I'm
around."
done. I was good for a while. It's been almost an hour, Daddy.
He's been waiting. He's been waiting patiently. So there you guys have it, man. It's
Yeah.
been another wonderful episode of Chopping Up Chicago. with Big Bro and Butterscotch Kisses. Y'all already know where to find us. You got Butterscotch Kisses all over everything: YouTube, Instagram, so on and so forth. Website Lily Rose DMA, right? Is it
.com. Yep.
.com? And you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all those things. Uh, TikTok. I'm sorry, I'm still parenting at the moment. And then you can follow my new channel, Chicago Cubs and Chicago White Sox Central, Chicago Baseball Central, where we talk all things Chicago baseball. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Peace out. Hold on.
Bye.
Daddy.